Where am I? Where am I? What? Who? Oh, it's you again. I guess I was going to avoid you only for so long until the nightmares start up again. A normal job hazard of this kind of occupation, dealing with human resources and interviewing disturbing creatures for a secret organization, bureau, business. I mean, when you interview vampires, ghosts, cursed individuals, yeti, serial killers, aliens, and otherworldly beings, mythical creatures and monsters, it is only normal to be, well, dreaming of monsters as yourself. Eldritch horrors, looking at something like you. It's been a while, but hello darkness, my old, very old friend. What do you have in store for me today? Or should I say tonight? Apparently I don't have a watch or clock of any kind. Normal for a dreamscape like this. So, what's in store? What scary, dreadful apparition or scenario do you wish to torment me with tonight? To make me play out an attempt to solve in vain? What puzzle, what obstacle, what journey of horror and misfortune you wish for me to experience? We've been through this how many times? So many different nightmares. At least I have my clothes on this time. That's a pretty good start for this kind of thing. As far as nightmares, it's always good when you're well dressed. Most of these don't start with me in my normal work attire, let alone anything. Let's see, I've got all my teeth for now. I'm not falling, I'm not underwater. Let's look around. Nothing's on fire. Nothing is submerged in an ever-glowing cloud or fog or mist of darkness. I'm not in a strange place. In fact, the most peculiar and odd thing about this is that I'm in my very lifelike, normal office. It's too normal. In fact, it may even be better than normal. Is it a little larger than normal? Let's see, am I trapped? Nope. Door opens just fine. I'm not chained, I'm not constrained, I'm not immobilized, I'm not paralyzed, I'm not trapped or rendered speechless, immobile, a prisoner with my own mind or body. Thankfully, I'm rather perfectly ambulatory at this time for now. I suppose I could escape if I wanted to. They're just staring at me. Just smiling and staring at me. Is that what this nightmare is? A staring contest? Let's see, I'm not being attacked by you or anything else. I'm not attacking anything else. I haven't been turned into anything peculiar or unnatural. I don't have any weird markings or scratches, no wounds or growths, no unnatural or natural deformities, abnormalities or protrusions or extra limbs. I'm not older or a child. I do know that this is a dream, and that you are here, which for someone not used to lucid dreaming is a rather pleasant's not the word, but better start to a nightmare, especially since usually when you are here, the dreams are strictly and only allowed to be unpleasant. So, to what do I owe the pleasure? Why am I here in a more, for a nightmare, a comfortable situation. What? You're just smiling and staring at me. Aren't you going to say anything? Is that the scary part? There is a trick to this, isn't there? You're not going to tell me, I'm guessing. What does that mean? You're gesturing like you want me to just keep guessing? Is this some kind of sick, scary version of charades for you? Am I just a puppet to your whims? Is that it? You feed upon my own paranoid, hyperactive imagination, and my anxiety kicks it into overdrive upon a normal, mundane situation. Is that it? Is that the sick game you're playing? Use my own insatiable need for control in my real life and turn it inward, so I try to overcompensate by maintaining control in my dreams when I have absolutely no control over the situation. Is that what you want? Is that what you need to hear? Do you think this is funny? I can't tell. Your plastered on fake smile doesn't tell me anything. Is it dealing with silence? You don't say anything, and thus I feel compelled to fill every second with my own words as I try to figure out what horrific, unmoving, smiling visaged, non-laughing smile tries to direct me to accomplish. Is that what this is? I'm just supposed to be on guard because I know this is a nightmare, but I don't know why it's a nightmare. Is that the trick? Is that the nightmare? I don't get it. Let me see. I'm not late for anything. At least I don't think so. There's no clocks or watches or way to tell a passage of time in this location. I'm not being chased. At least not that I know of. Nothing in here besides you and me. For now. Is there a test or exam? Is this the test? Am I being tested right now? I'm dressed like I normally do in the office where I conduct interviews. Is this an interview? It is. This is supposed to be an interview. Am I being the one interviewed? No. Am I interviewing you? What am I interviewing you for? What do you want? If you don't talk to me, this interview is going to go, well, for you or for me, badly. You have to talk to me. This can't be the whole thing. Finally you say something. You're talking to me. Great. I thought you would just wait until Wait. What? You want to work for... How would that even work? You're a dream. You're a dream being. You are a thing of nightmares. How would that work? Nothing about that works. You don't work unless your job is giving people nightmares. I've seen you repeatedly in my dreams. You're one of the worst recurring entities of my nightmares. The worst dreamy man ever, Mr. Boogeyman. I feel that you have your work of causing nightmares already in check. Plenty of jobs for you out there, especially in this economy. Kind of have the monopoly on that industry of causing nightmares, I would think. So why would you want a job working for us? Working with us? Look, this isn't real. It's just a nightmare. I'll wake up from this, and you will be gone, and I can forget all about this. This is just a crazy dream, and I will wake up, and you will be gone. I will wake up, and you will be gone. I will wake up. I will wake up. I will wake up. I will wake up. But you will still be here in my nightmares. But I will wake up any minute now. But you have me curious. You're right. Curiosity kills a lot of things. But I have to know. A nightmarish entity as yourself wants to work for a secret organization. You've already put me in my own preferred environment as the interviewer. I guess the only thing I can really do is to play along. Let's conduct this interview for a job doing things that only a dream monster as yourself could know. You've haunted my sleep enough times to know full well the kinds of work that we do and what I've interviewed before, and you should very well that you know that you are not qualified for any of the work that we do. This interview is only to cause me pain, I'm sure, as you don't make nightmares for my benefit. So, allow me to humor you, to conduct this interview for any open job postings now or in the near future, because I'm sure I can get in touch with you if anything opens up, so that you would be anything that you'd be qualified for. I'm only a dream away from contacting you. You've wanted to interview for us for a long time. That's hard to believe. You've been watching the employees of our organization for how long? That is disconcerting. How much about our organization, what we do, are you? Why now contact me when I'm only a dream away? Oh no, I have my theories, I'm sure, but please tell me. So, the time matters that much to you. I don't mean nighttime. I mean, I see. You're a patient individual waiting for the perfect day, night, time, making sure that the time is right before you strike. Truly a master of suspense and fear to really obtain the best desired result that you're aiming for. It's good to have someone who is patient and calculating when it comes to important decisions. However, usually this is good in the case of the normal clientele that we hire, and not something like you. I don't think having a patient nightmare being is a good thing, though having a nightmare thing constantly revisit you possibly isn't a good thing either. I guess this leads me to the important critical question: why? Why do you, a dream-eating monstrous being of pure nightmares, want this job? I'm sorry? Is dream-eating monstrous being not a professional term for you? Please, tell me, how would you like me to address a creature of your element? The Dream Master or the Nightmare King? Really? Am I dealing with sleep royalty? I am. Well, then how did you become the Nightmare King? By killing the last Nightmare King with your dream army. In my line of work, that unfortunately sounds very believable. Now, again, tell me why, with your ever-increasing workload of nightmares, I'm sure, would you want a job here? I know we can't pay you. I see, you want a trade of sorts. Interesting. You want publicity more than a paycheck. You would be working for exposure. That sounds like a nightmare job to a lot of other people, but are you saying that marketing yourself and the work that you do is your dream job? Let me get this straight. You would want to work for a secret organization, one that does not exist, that makes sure all the information is secret, and you want to work for us to become famous? That seems like the worst way to actually get known is to work for a secret organization, one that is incredibly expertly good at hiding things and covering up information. You'd think you'd want to work for some place that would expose you and tell you people about and not try to hide you. Well, that is correct. No, that's confidential. I cannot confirm or deny that accusation, but assuming that could be possible, I can understand and see your side of things, your perspective. Never thought I would have to think about a nightmare's perspective and needs and wants, but in the case that is possibly an outcome that may have transpired and occurred, then yes, you are in that scenario that you are stating that you would want the alternative to that possible theoretical and probable outcome to occur instead, resulting in you not being hidden under 50 or so thousand pages of bureaucracy. You essentially want us to, in the, again, theoretical scenario that we are somehow influencing the perception that there is a mystical or mythical ruler of nightmares, to stop withholding and classifying your deeds as confidential and classified since you do not work for us. You essentially want us to stop interfering in your plans and hiding you from the mainstream as part of our organizational activities. In the, again, theoretical sense that we have any responsibility with any of those regards. I see. So, as a secret organization and bureau, you're not allowed to sue us, and you are unable to take legal action yourself, seeing as even though we don't exist as a secret company organization that is not legitimately anywhere, secretly hidden behind things and the secret orders. But even we have more of a legal entity than you, Dream Royalty Nightmare King, a creature of distortion and incomprehensible madness that does not physically exist. You have even less right to legal counsel. I see. That could be very troubling and disturbing and difficult for you to make a claim that something has occurred against you in the real world and try to stop that. You as a person, and I say person with the element that only a person within people's dreams and ideas, there is no actual proof of anything that you've done, and I cannot confirm that obviously, but I understand the accusation and motives now for you trying to obtain a position within the organization to help make more of an effort to advocate for nightmare entities and dream beings such as yourself. We do better with incomprehensible and otherworldly creatures and aliens and monsters than cryptids primarily. But you, however, are clearly between worlds and are of a state of being that is hard to declare as a being. One that most people do not have access to, even if they do wander into, they will rarely remember or acknowledge you as the reason for their nightmare. Yet you have decided to plead with me to obtain an occupation at this organization, bureau, business, thing. Is there a reason that you didn't want to go through a third party, a medium, mediator, dream warrior, or a possessed entity? I'm sorry. That was unprofessional. That was rude and presumptuous of me, and I apologize. I ask for forgiveness, to strike that statement from the record, and I'm very sorry. I clearly must be tired since I haven't been getting much sleep. I've been having bad dreams lately. You might know why, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What? What's not your fault? What do you mean that the nightmares aren't your fault? Did you just not earlier say that you're the king of nightmares? Are you saying that you did not present me with this nightmare scenario and a simulacrum matrix dream reality of my normal situation for the purposes of conducting an interview? Are you saying that you're not in charge of my nightmares? I'm pretty sure you are. Are you saying that I'm responsible for creating this? I see. So you are saying that I'm responsible for having the nightmare. But then you're the one that controls the nightmare once it begins. So as soon as the nightmare begins, you then have control. But you can't just force the nightmare upon someone. Okay, I see. So we've been weakening you unintentionally. Is that what you're saying? You, the Nightmare King, require people to know you. And as they learn about you, witness the darkness and devastation that you cause, the more people know you're responsible for the nightmares and see that you have power over their nightmares. And that often causes more people to have nightmares. And the more that people attribute you as the bringer of nightmares, whether you actually are causing or not, the more power you have over people having nightmares. And the more people that think you have power over having nightmares, the more people that have nightmares about you causing them nightmares. I'm starting to see the roundabout logic in this. This really is a power grab then, and you want us to help facilitate your rise in power over people's dreams, to inspire more people to have nightmares. Now, personally, that seems like a bad idea. You're saying that if we rightfully attribute and bring rise to the true threat to the nightmares, we provide you power over the masses, but also create an entity that can be reasoned with, fought, and we can help provide ways for people to defeat. No, not defeat. Defeat's not the right word. Avoid and escape nightmares. We can provide all of our employees with safety nets and ways to prevent the nightmares from escaping. That seems bad, to put power in the hands of a dream entity, even one as yourself. I understand your survival depends that people believe and fear you. You are powered by the fear, and since nobody knows you anymore, they think you're just a fake thing occasionally seen in cheesy horror movies. They no longer fear you. They have been weakening your power little bit by bit, and you've been limited by usually repetitive common nightmares. Falling, losing teeth, dying, people dying, being chased, showing up late. I understand that you're not evil, but unpleasant dreams are still that, unpleasant. Nobody wants to wake up in a cold sweat, their body undergoing the stress of just having been frightened for no good reason, but to appease some, royalty that has the stranglehold over their sleeping state. Right, you said that already. You don't cause people to have nightmares. You only control and manipulate them once the person's already having the nightmare. Look, you're not the first thing to try bartering and coming up with non-monetary agreements and contracts. But I don't like making these kind of deals. And it does not require a follow. No, it does. It does require multiple follow-up conversations with multiple different entities and boards and people to even allow this kind of a non-commercial contract, non-monetary exchange contract, this kind of a very nebulous bargaining deal. What rules and restrictions could we even come up with? Look, I'll get there. You may not be evil. You're simply trying to survive in a world where people don't believe in you. And you're just starving for the sustenance. I understand, you aren't evil, but you certainly aren't good. Yes, I'm sure you're misunderstood. You've been forgotten by many, but you still linger and wander and haunt others, some more frequently and some more often and powerfully than others. You're still present, constantly working, but you're not getting the credit for it. No, we don't always make ethical decisions here. We are above the law. We don't exist within any parameters, but that makes every decision we make much more important, especially when dealing and forming contracts with royalty, such as yourself, the Nightmare King. I'm sure you can be useful. I have a variety of questions about that, but you can see the need for caution with this. No, I haven't been taking notes. There's no reason to take notes. It's a dream. Nothing I type here is going to matter. It doesn't matter what I type if this is a dream. Does this make you feel better? Me typing down notes about what you're saying? Like it's a real interview. Like any of this is a real interview. Why would I even bother? So where was I? Right. We have a very difficult problem, which is the supervision. Oversight. It's very hard to... supervision of dreams is very difficult at best. We've studied it a lot already and seeing that your presence is often undetected by the distractions and deceptions of the nightmare. The nightmares are usually so large and vast and powerful, you are often in the corners, hidden even within your own starring roles. The darkness, hiding within the darkness of the nightmare. You shroud yourself expertly from apparent detection, possibly because of your weakened state, or possibly by design, to not be attacked in case the individual is lucid dreaming, perhaps. If they're lucid dreaming, then usually they wouldn't be having a nightmare. Now, what am I getting at? What I'm getting at is that in the case, theoretically, we agree to some kind of working agreement in terms of a contract. How on earth do we supervise an almost imperceptible being, making sure that you follow all the rules and regulations as depicted in the contract or according to our handbook? It's very difficult and frustrating, and we do not need to have a meeting with HR about the workings and dealings of a contracted individual such as the Nightmare King. I don't want to have that conversation. I'm pretty sure everyone else in my department doesn't want to have that conversation. HR meetings are nightmares already. I don't want to have a nightmare mediation between one waking HR individual and a sleeping individual to have a conversation between you and whatever misdeed you have done, because something will happen or someone will complain and one of our employees. And I don't want to have to try and make a contract dictating every possible dream scenario. That's not going to happen. So it's going to be vague, And because it'll be vague, someone will say, hey, I had a bad dream and it was the Nightmare King's fault. It's gonna happen. So even if an employee doesn't complain, us supervising the various deeds that you might be doing, it's gonna be very difficult and complicated, and overall a pain to try and track every little thing that you do. So it's going to be a mess. What am I getting at? What am I getting at is that the supervision of your activities, it's not going to work. It's going to be difficult and frustrating. You're not the first entity that we've tried to have this kind of a contract with, and almost always they will do something. They'll try to get away with little things, and often they do for a very long time. But then we find out that they've been getting away with little things. So then it's a very big, large mess for us to clean up all of the little things that have been happening for years. Usually not just one big thing that happens in a very blatant way that we can fix. No. It happens little here, little there, little here. And then we have to go scrubbing and cleaning it all up. That's a real nightmare right there. So I'm not just taking the word of a nightmare that they will follow all the rules, especially when they have the most important thing to gain from not following the rules: absolute power over dreams and nightmares. We're not doing that. We are a secret organization. We don't deal in good and evil, right and wrong. What we deal with is in control and calculations. How do you think we've stayed secret for so long? Cost and reward. This is about trust, risk, strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, threats, the liabilities and returns on investments. We are a business. We are a bureau. We don't deal in money, but we still deal with costs and the benefits. We don't make wishes without understanding the full extent of the consequences. We have I can't tell you that. That information is redacted, but we have an item in question that we possess that has great power, often at a price. The price being usually an ironic result according to the request that is provided. And the limited usage of the item often is perceived as the largest downside, when the result is usually always corrupted by user error and wrong intentions without proper foresight. No, it's not that. It's not that either. No, I can't tell you what it is. The information is classified, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, so please stop asking. No, I'm not telling you what it is. This is a nightmare. Listen, no, I'm not telling you what it is. We've gone over that we can't trust you, but that doesn't mean that we won't hire you. It means that what you need to provide to us has to be extraordinary. It has to outweigh any possible risk that we are sure going to take in. We have to have such a large benefit of what you bring to the table and how you help us that we can't say no. That when we are in a situation that we have ran out of options, we have to come to you. That's how you negotiate. That's the bargaining you need to do. And that's what I'm getting at. We can't hire you at this current point. What you want, that's immense. And it's a risk. And I'm sure you're not telling the full truth. So, with that being said, why should we hire you? What can you provide to the company? Right. You've mentioned that. Why should I type it down? This is a dream. This is a nightmare. Fine. If it makes you feel better. So, continue. Right. You have a dream army, a dream kingdom, dream weaponry, and a dreamy castle. If we are combating or trying to contain an entity of a dream world, then your assistance would be of a great help. Almost absolutely vital in helping contain and overpower and... what? Destroy. You can destroy a dream. How do you destroy it? You eat good dreams. Is that where the nightmare comes from? The nightmare is after you've eaten the good dream? I see. So their mind already opens up the opportunity, the problems in the foundation of the dream, and you come along, eat up the good dream, and then turn it into a nightmare. I see. You can eat any kind of dream entity, and well, of course the good dreams taste better. Alright, so you're dangerous to dreams. So what else? You're a liaison to dream entities. You can communicate with them and help mediate any issues or problems. You can speak to things that normally cannot speak by entering their dreams. Great. So, and you can negotiate through dreams by presenting probably nightmarish scenarios, but you could still influence and have conversations through their dreams, almost like this. And hopefully the person will remember what they were dreaming about, similar to me remembering you from all of our previous encounters and nightmares. So what? You can influence in dreams. Do you mind elaborating on that? So you go into their dreams and manipulate the dream in ways to maneuver and create ideas that the individual did not have before. The inception of their dreams, to inspire, to deceive, to redirect and influence them through the dreams. Turning them into puppets of your fantasies so you could also defend against someone else's attempts at entering or watching a dream. Very powerful. But only if it's nightmare, right? Really? You can be in a dream without it being a nightmare? How does that work? Well, I mean, look at you. You're not a very pleasant thing in any of the forms you possess. Can you truly transform your appearance to not stand out and disrupt and destroy the foundations of dream just by you entering it? Well, how does your transformation of your appearance work? Subtlety and subterfuges. Exactly what we like to hear. If you're able to influence the dreams, how much about the person are you able to see and extract from their dreams? So, since we've met and have had multiple encounters, you know pretty much everything about well played. So, you don't know everything, but you know everything that someone has ever dreamed about. And me with my recurring dreams of things that I've interviewed, and these are only the ones that I remember, that means that you possess a lot of information about our organization and what we possess, especially in regards to our research and dream warfare within dreams. I guess I can drop any pretense that we have been trying to find ways to combat and fight dream entities, such as yourself. Since you already are well aware of our warfare and research designs into that field, allow me to specify it is not because of you that we've been creating dream weaponry and defenses. Well, I am certainly glad that you haven't killed me yet. I meant in the dream, but What? Wait. You can really kill someone in the real world? Please go on. Excuse me, but how does that even work? How does that happen? If you die in your dream, you don't die in real life. That's not how dreams work. I have died in my dreams. No, you don't. That's a lie. I don't believe that. Evidence, okay. Go on. Right. That wasn't you, that was a serial killer. It was just a guy in a mask. Right, they didn't catch the guy, but that doesn't mean that... Listen, this is not a conversation, this is... That's not evidence, that's not real, that's... So, what did you do then?
What? No! No! Get away! Get away!
A cockroach. Okay, so you turn into a TV and what? You did what with his tendons? What do you mean into the bed? Like, tucked him into the covers? Like, turned him into the bed? Like, in between the mattresses? So if that's what's happening in the dream, what happened in the physical world? That's ridiculous. Really. And you are claiming how many? Over 80 individuals this way. I think this was beyond my pay grade, and I didn't even know it. I'm sure that there's a department that deals with this, and it's probably why we're covering it up. If anything you're saying is true, which that defies... No, I've seen enough things to know logic and science. There's a lot we don't know about it. But even then, that's out there. So, is this what you're passionate about? Creating more unique and diverse horrific nightmares that can be used in this kind of manner of demise? Well then, what do you obsess over? dreams and nightmares. Interesting. And the ever-changing landscape of what creates and inspires a physical fear reaction when someone is in the deep REM sleep. Is that what's really feeding and sustaining you? What is your preferred learning style? Visual learner. All right. Tell me about a time when you failed and how you handled it. Really? So they enjoy the nightmare, and that's what caused it to fail? So if they enjoy the horror, then it's not really scary, and that means you failed. How do you handle short-term and long-term stress? You love it, because it makes better nightmares. Tell me about a time when you successfully persuaded and motivated someone to see it your way, incepting them and influencing them through their dreams. Tell me a story about using your powers through a nightmare to make someone change their thoughts or opinions. I don't know why I'm typing this in a nightmare. If you could rename any of the months of the year, which one and what would you rename it? What is something that you always forget exists? You really shouldn't forget that. What is under your bed? You are. Do you want to elaborate on that? That's fine. Do you have any allergies? Any allergies at all? I know you're not a physical being, but oh, you're allergic to melatonin. That is, I don't know what to make of that. Do you like animals? What is your favorite animal? And what is your favorite oxymoron? Interesting. Waking nightmare. That's your favorite oxymoron. Do you have... Are you there when people have sleep paralysis? So in that, are you what paralyzes them in that sleep paralysis, or are you just what they witness? As a living nightmare incarnate, do you ever sleep? Does a nightmare dream? When does a nightmare sleep? So have you ever thought about or wished that you would fall asleep and not wake up? You know what I'm asking. Of course, the king in his nightmare tower. Can you keep a secret? Can't you keep a secret from me? Have you kept a secret from me in the process of this interview? Have you lied in this interview? I knew it. Stop playing with me. I'm not falling for those tricks. I knew it. How would you define success? why should we not hire you? That's rude. I know it's true, but it is still rude. What is something that you've completed from start to finish? So then, would you disobey a direct order? What about one that puts your others in danger? Said the dream murderer. If you're going to lie, you could at least pretend to play the game. I know that horrifying smile is painted on, but I don't know what's real anymore. We're in a nightmare. I know it's a dream, but I know nothing here is real. You know what I mean. Could you stop the screams? The constant screams that are echoing in here. Could you stop them, please? That would really help. It would be really nice. I could have some room to think. Thank you. How do you deal with conflicting instructions, procedures, or direct orders? That's fair. Let's see. I can skip a variety of these questions for obvious reasons. Well, I mean, I could ask them all, but they don't make sense. A lot of them are about fighting things, in which case you've already given the answer. You incept them in their dreams and either devour them through the inside out of their mind, or you somehow cause them to die through their dreams. Either way, you've already communicated the answer to all of these. The other questions often deal with physical matter, which we've already established. You change your form. You're in a dream world. They don't apply to you. Another collection of these are about nightmares and fears, and you don't have any, except for possibly... Do you have any fears? That's why I didn't ask. Do you have any questions for me? Of course. Why would you? You already know everything about me anyway, right? Do you have a true form, or do you simply change your nightmarish appearance depending upon the dreamer? Do you have a core form of what you look like? Look, most of the questions that I ask don't apply to a being such as yourself. As I mentioned, dealing with you is a lot more theoretical and abstract in nature, and even a spirit or apparition has more elements that I can ask about than you. I don't even know if this is real. This is a nightmare. This is my nightmare, and you're feeding off of it. So you make it appear that this is a normal interviewing domain, but all the while you hold all the strings and the cards. You have been playing the interviewer from the start. I'm not one for sleepwalking or sleep talking, but that doesn't mean that I'm not immune to the symptoms of somnambulism. I am clearly aware that if your powers can grow and reach past what you normally can do, you have the abilities of possession through sleep, even if you say that you can't. You say you can murder someone in your sleep, but you can't get someone to walk around and sleep talk. Your murderous tendencies have been locked away and weakened, and the most important question that you have answered, both directly and indirectly, is why now? We've been around this secret undercover organization since long before people have recorded history. And you've been around since the fall of man, since sin has entered and perverted, corrupted, and distorted mankind's dreams. I know. I'm in your world. I know I'm playing your game with your rules. But don't think that I can't resist your temptation and pull. Don't think that I'm not aware of your inception and you trying to bend me to your will. I know you said you aren't evil, and I believe you. As bad a decision as that is, but that doesn't mean that I need to follow your rules just because you're in control. I am the hiring manager for a reason. I don't get intimidated by scary things like you. You think you can just make a power grab like this, work around the bureaucracy, go directly to the hiring manager because you have a relationship with them, even one of constantly tormenting them with nightmares. Yes, I'm aware that it's not what you know, it's who you know that gets you a job, but what you don't seem to realize is I know why you're doing this now. People aren't sleeping like they used to. It's harder and harder to get to sleep. It is so difficult to dream in a world that feeds and benefits off of fear. You are having trouble competing with the nightmares of the waking world. The scary things that you feed off of in people's dreams, well, they are used to living it. They're not getting scared like they used to. So your work is cut out for you. It's getting harder and harder to make people scream. You are having trouble competing with other things. And it isn't going to fall asleep and be witness to your control. There are entire cities with a reputation for not sleeping. The blue light of computer screens that people stay up so late looking at before trying to go to sleep, that's stopping you from entering their dreams. It's stopping them from having those deep REM sleeps. People are having trouble getting enough sleep for their normal body functions, let alone a sleep deep enough. Sleep to be witness to your nightmare games. You know why I see you so much. I'm able to fall deep asleep because I'm not scared. An ability and practice that is dwindling and disappearing. People are not sleeping well. People are sleeping less and less. And if you aren't careful, you're going to be out of a job and out of a kingdom. If people can't sleep well and have good dreams, how are you to eat them to give them the bad ones? If they start to dread the nightmares and avoid you, you won't have enough dreams to feed on at all. You're so hungry in desperation. It's not attractive. Not that anything about you is attractive. So we'll consider your application, and I will be ready for next time. So you best make my next nightmare a good one, because I will be ready. Now, I think we're finished here. You'll have our decision next time we meet. Now, how about you let me out of here and let me finally wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Whoa. Where am I? Where was it? It was all a dream. It was all a dream. It was just a bad nightmare. Why is the camera recording? Why is the camera recording?